What's going on, everyone? So, Scream 7, right? Absolute mess. They got to figure out what they're going to do, what direction they're going to go. They, based on the rumors, again, just rumors, don't really know anything for certain, but they are actively trying to get out a script. They're trying to put everything together and continue a story, right? And pick up as soon as possible and try to get this movie out next year. There were some rumors and reports going around. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but there was some news going around that they're only a couple months behind of schedule, that they still believe that they can get things on track and get the film out towards the end of next year. Now, if they do, that's great. I'm all for it, right? I'm kind of curious and partly excited to an extent for Scream 7 now, because it's like, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a complete dumpster fire and just an absolute mess and doesn't make any sense and a disaster because they are trying to rush this? Or is it going to be something where it's like, oh man, hey, this was really cool, right? This worked out, right? This was fine. What kind of story are they going to go? What kind of direction are they going to go? Are they going to be able to get Nev back, right? There's conflicting reports about that. People saying like, yeah, Nev is on board. She's ready to go. And then there's other reports that say that she's not. And that she's said that she's not interested, or that there's rumors that she might not be interested, right? So it's going to be interesting. There's all the fans backlash that's kind of circulating. A lot of people are kind of saying like, oh, hey, if Nev signs up, Nev comes on board, then that's just disrespectful and all that stuff. I've already given my opinion on that in the previous videos. If you want to know, go watch even the latest video that I post before this one. Kind of touched on that. So, but when you look at Scream 7, personally, this is just my thoughts. And of course, I want to hear yours. So let me know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. But, I think that they should take their time. Be patient, right? You are currently in the midst of a dumpster fire. Now, I don't think it's as big as it appears to us in the Scream fandom, right? Because I say this all the time, right? The people, you that are watching this video right now, you are part of a minority in which will see this actual film, right? There may be a million just diehard Scream fans that watch videos like myself, watch, videos from other content creators that are just on top of all the ins and outs of all of the Scream news. That is a small number compared to the people globally that are going to watch this film. It just is, right? So to us, this seems like a huge deal. To us, this seems like a dumpster fire that is an absolute mess. But to the average moviegoer, to the average casual Scream fan, somebody that's just like, oh, hey, Scream 7, I'm down to watch this, right? To them, they don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. They don't really care. They may have read the headlines that Melissa Barrera was fired, but they probably don't care, right? Again, we are a very small fish in a giant ocean of people that are going to go watch this movie. So that's probably how they are looking at it, is like, look, all the noise and all the people that are just screaming about this is very small compared to all the people that are going to go see this movie. So let's get this out ASAP, right? Let's get this out immediately, right? However, I do think that they should take their time solely because I believe that they run the risk of just making this a bad movie. Look, if they can get this out and it's great, then cool, right? At the end of the day, myself, many others, all they care about is just give me a good movie. That's how I feel personally. Give me a good movie. If Sydney is the main focus and you can get Sydney back, right? I've talked about it in the past that personally, I think they should just move off of her and go in a new direction. They were kind of doing that in Scream 6, and I thought it was fine. So many people were screaming from the rooftops that Scream 6 is going to flop and it's going to be terrible and it's going to be the worst movie ever and no one's going to go watch it because Nev isn't in it. And guess what? It was great. I mean, from like a standpoint, right? I don't, the movie had its flaws, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about like, it basically was the same thing. Everyone went and saw it, numbers similar, all that stuff, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And that was kind of always my point. That was kind of always my argument, is that like, yes, Sydney is a huge part to us diehards, but to the average person that's going to watch this film, it's not Sydney, it's Ghostface. Ghostface is on the poster. Ghostface is the one that everyone's dressing up as this Halloween. Ghostface is Scream. And Scream 6 proved that by not having Sydney in it and still being successful. Right? So, again, however you felt about the movie, whether you loved it, whether you hated it, whatever, it's still had its success. Right? But whatever direction you pick, if it's to go full-fledged into Sidney Prescott, if it's to go in a new direction, if it's to go whatever, right? Now, there's even rumors about the Lakewood cast maybe returning or whatever and kind of doing a crossover thing. Okay, whatever it is, that's fine. You gotta make it good. You cannot miss on this. I think that they have a real opportunity to kind of position themselves for more movies, right? Like, to them, this could turn out to be a positive for a studio standpoint. Again, obviously what happened is terrible, but look, you look at it from the business side. It's like, okay, we have essentially a blank canvas here. We could go multiple. We could conclude and finish like the Sydney arc. I think personally they should just go fresh story, new fresh characters, right? Because then you could probably do a new trilogy out of that if it's good. But I don't know. I lean personally to Spyglass and all of the writers and everything to just, like, it doesn't have to come out next year. It doesn't have to, right? If you can get it to come out and it's great and it works, then fine. But I don't think it has to. And it again, we don't know for certain. We're not like in the boardroom meetings and having the conversations and stuff, so I don't know. But it sounds like they are trying to get this out on schedule. They are trying to get this out next year. And I get it that you want to kind of ride the wave of Scream 5 and Scream 6. And they spent, $400+ million on the rights to Scream. So they want to pump out as many movies as possible. But as I mentioned, like, you have a real opportunity here, in my opinion. You have a real moment where you can sort of right the ship and set yourself up for quite a run here. Like, longer than you may have anticipated, if you do things correctly, if you give a good, compelling story with good characters, and you just kind of pick a direction and you stick with it, right? Personally, I think it is something that is like, there has a freshness and excitement to this, right? Like, because, look, Scream 5 had that originally, but then, like, once the information came out, you were like, oh, okay, they're just going to basically remake Scream 96. It's kind of what it sounds like, right? And so, like, my thought with that was like, okay, we kind of have an idea. We kind of know where we're going with this. And then we ended up getting Scream 6. And it was like, okay, when they made the announcement of Scream 6, you knew, okay, they're just going to continue this, right? And that's what they did. They basically made a Scream 2 2.0 to an extent. I mean, yes, it was different. Yes, it had different moments and stuff like that, but it was very similar, right? Had a lot of similarities. And so now it's like, well, you have this opportunity that you didn't have prior. Take your time. You don't need to rush it. Put yourself in a position to where you can give us just a really good quality film. So that way we can start, riding off into the sunset here a little bit. And getting some just good maybe multiple films out of it. I don't know, again, call me crazy, but it's just kind of my thoughts with this whole thing. Like, I'm just like, I think that they have a real opportunity here. Take your time. Don't rush it. There's no reason to rush it. But I don't know. We will see. We will see. But again, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think, like, yeah, take your time. Don't rush this. You don't have to get it out next year. Like, give it a year. Right? Spend all of next year building, developing, start filming it towards the end of next year, and then get it out in 2025. And I think you'd be good. But it's probably not what's going to happen. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know. Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comment section below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.